All right. So, what did I say I was going to open with? Two more white guys speaking their mind, exactly what the world needs.
I think it'll just be everyone talking forever. Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully, everyone will be allowed to talk, no matter what color skin they have. But
Or gender.
yeah,
Or sex organ.
yeah, except for the trans people.
Starting off a little political.
Yeah.
We need a name. That's definitely a priority. We need a name.
Yeah. What could be the name? This is a stupid one. It's a spin-off of Two Bears, One Cave. It's Up a Creek with Two Paddles.
I like that.
But
we need to also search and make sure nobody else has the names.
Do you think someone else has that one?
Potentially, because if it's podcasts are often two people talking.
True.
I was just thinking, like, what are we doing? Funny name.
What?
Just like, welcome to the What Are We Doing podcast. That'd be funny.
Something about names, though. Like, something about, like, someone's name. Like, you know.
Up a creek with two paddles. See if that's on Apple Podcasts. Doesn't look like it. It's a long name. What's the acronym? UACW2P. You throw the number in there. It makes it. That's how you stay hip. Keep it cool.
Dude, talk about your album that just came out. Like,
Well, yeah. I just dropped an album. You can find it anywhere you find music. Look up Yersa. Fucking. Well, if we want to talk about music, we'll talk about music. But I don't know. Priority number one is for sure like the title. Like, the point of doing this is just to have random conversations about life and consciousness and what have you. So that's kind of why I was leaning towards like, what are we doing or something like that. Just kind of like an abstract title about like being a person, like what it means, like just like we're existing, we're talking, we aren't really coming with any specific agenda. We're just sitting here trying to have some conversations and put them down on tape. So
I constantly think, what the fuck is going on about so many things around me, so many things.
So yeah, there's like 5 What Are We Doing podcasts. So that's not a very original idea.
What about what the fuck is going on?
Nah.
What is going on?
I'm backtracking on on that podcast, on the title idea.
What is happening?
I don't know. The Lucid podcast.
Lucid. Dude, I'm telling you, I think there's something about people's names. The next album. People like people's names. You know what I mean?
Austin and Blake. Blake and Austin. Yeah. Blake and Austin sounds better. You want to end on the 2 syllables for sure.
But then you also have, I really like Two Bears, One Cave. And your mama's house. Do what?
A and B? A to B?
A to B. I like A to B better than A and B.
A to B?
A to B.
I like A to B. There needs to be something else. All right, there's one named A to B.
A to B podcast.
From A to B is already a name of one.
From A to B. Damn it.
From A to B is already one.
Dude, I heard there's like, how many podcasts even are there? There's probably millions.
Hundreds of thousands for sure. I don't know about millions.
I'm pretty sure there's a million.
I don't know about millions. Dude. Hundreds of thousands for sure. I heard like 25,000 in something I was listening to the other day, but I think that was from a few years ago. And I know they've taken off a lot since. But I don't know. I'd probably say like 200K podcasts in the world.
So I've for a while now, a lot of my media that I've been taking in with my phone has been podcasts. And I've just now started getting back listening to music, especially on like long drives. You know what I mean?
I should probably have both because I'm listening. I got one off, and I can hear you actually speaking. I should probably do this for the actually monitoring.
Yeah, I can hear myself better when I get up close to the mic.
Damn cords. I mean,
But
don't
yeah.
get too close because then we'll get excited and it'll get way too loud, and then I'll have
Yeah.
more editing to do.
Yeah, I don't want to be screaming, screaming. But man, yeah, no, I've noticed that when I listen to music on long drives, right, my brain is more inclined to wander to
Yeah,
all sorts of different places.
yeah, I feel you. Podcasts almost distract from the thoughts.
Yeah, I
and
agree.
music can like
I agree.
encourage the thoughts.
Yeah, no, that's
For
interesting.
me, I think so much about music that I'll be listening to somebody else's song and have to pause it because I had a lyric pop into my head.
Right.
And now I'm singing a lyric to their beat, but I had to pause the music so I'm not listening to them like bother my thought. And then like I'll pause it and come up with a full lyric and then record that into Snapchat and save it for later. And be like, maybe I can rework it to another beat, or maybe it'll inspire me to make a similar beat to throw that melody on top of.
Mm-hmm.
But I totally know what you mean. Like, even just driving, like, sightseeing, just looking at fucking... We live in such a beautiful place to just drive and look at shit.
I know.
Like...
Even music can distract me from that. Like, I don't know, because sometimes I'll be... It's weird how you can drive. Obviously, like, everyone has had this experience,
quick,
like, when you can drive.
All the squeaking are these chairs. Shouldn't be too bad. I'm just letting the people know that is the chair.
Squeak, squeak.
In case you're wondering. I think yours is worse than mine.
Or my voice. But no. What were we talking? Yeah, we were talking about the
She's
music.
beautiful. Or, yeah, music distracting from
But
thoughts.
yeah, dude, I came up from Columbia today. I came up through Winsboro and then up through Carlisle. Dude, that's such a beautiful drive. It's such a beautiful
Dude, I
drive.
love it. I loved going anywhere. Like,
After you get off the interstate, it's really nice drive.
even just here to Spartanburg. Like, as a kid, we grew up and that's all we knew. Like, it's,
Dude,
you know,
that was the only drive I knew, man, for
like,
sure.
as a kid, that's all we knew going up 176 and getting to Spartanburg. But now, like, the rolling hills of 176 that I've known all my life continue to show more beauty to me. Like, I love that drive up to Spartanburg. Like, it doesn't get old. It gets better and better.
Yeah.
Like, right before Packlet, when you pass there's like 4 sets of giant power lines going, like, I don't even know where. And you can just see for like a mile. I love it, man. I just love looking at shit. Especially going up to Hendersonville, seeing the Blue Ridge on the horizon, man. Nothing beats that.
I've started on the river because when I fish on the river, like it's you'll have a long distance and you might see a bird or you might see a turtle or you might see a muskrat or something and it's far off. So I've started just carrying when I go fishing, I'll carry my binos with me and it's so cool to just take
I need a
binos
nice set
and
of fucking nice set of knocks,
snipe
bro.
shit,
I need a
man.
nice set of knocks.
God.
Yeah, that's a good investment. I want a better fucking camera lens. I want to get. There's one that goes from. So the other lens I have that I use for everything I shoot is I believe 30 millimeter lens, and it's like super tight and up close because I have a crop sensor, so it mimics like a 48 millimeter. I don't remember the math, but it's technical camera shit. I got a crop sensor, not a full frame sensor, so you have to do a conversion rate on the millimeter of the lens because the sensor that the light is hitting is a different size. So it's a 30 millimeter lens, but it acts like a 48 millimeter lens. And a 50 mil lens is one of the most common lenses, and I believe that's the 50 mil lens is what they say mimics human sight the most. Like it looks the most like our regular frame of view. So that one's 30, and I want to get one that's 50 to 200. So 200 versus 30, which fucking, dude, like the zoom is insane.
What is the magnification on those things? Like what? Because like my binos are, for instance, 12. They have a 12 times magnification.
So the one I'm rocking right now is a 15 to 45. So it's 15 millimeters to 45 millimeters of focal range. The millimeters, I believe, is the measurement from the end of the very last glass on the lens to the sensor. That's the measurement. That's the millimeters I'm talking about. So it's 15 millimeters to 45 millimeters.
Okay.
I don't have a clue what like X magnification that would be.
Dude, the cameras are way crazier. Some of the big cameras are way crazier.
Dude, you can get like 1,000 millimeter light. It's insane.
Yeah.
But also, you're copping like a nice pair of Knox for like at most what 600 for a stupid nice pair.
That's top of the line.
Top of the line camera lens. You're talking 20K.
Jeez, yeah, dude. But even the spotting scopes, they can get 1,000 plus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like $2,000.
Yeah,
but
camera lenses are stupid.
I think camera lenses are even better than those.
Yeah. Well, they're manufactured for the digital, whereas a spotting lens, and this kind of gets back to our last discussion about digital versus analog. But I mean, this is a random thought. I have no data to back this up, but it kind of makes sense. With a spotting scope, would be less crispy and less perfect because it's just a human looking through it. Whereas a camera has a fucking robot that's analyzing every fucking pixel in that frame that it's receiving. And therefore, if it's any of the imperfections, or you can zoom in on that. You can't look through a scope and zoom in with your eye and see the imperfections. So I imagine why camera lenses are much more like high quality is not the word, but like pristine. I don't know, like the threshold for the quality control is much higher.
Well,
the tolerances are way better, and you just got a cleaner final product.
The thing is, you can see way finer details with a camera,
that's what
really
I mean.
high-powered camera, at the same distance that you could see. Like if you had the best spotting scope, you can see for miles. But I don't know,
because with that spotting scope,
better than the camera, dude. I don't know.
No, I'm agreeing with you because what I'm saying is with the spotting scope, you have your eye.
Right.
You can't zoom your eye.
I know.
With a camera, I can take a picture and throw it on my computer and zoom all the way into the single pixel I'm trying to look at.
Your eye zooms somewhat when you're looking long or far.
You get what I'm saying.
It does, though.
Yeah, it focuses.
Yeah,
your focal range changes as you focus. It's the same on a camera. But the thing is, like the fact that you can take a photo into another program and zoom into it, and it's digital, and I can zoom in on my camera, those imperfections that you might not spot through the naked eye through a scope would be very evident if you zoomed into a photo and tried to crop into a photo. So I would imagine that's the reason, because at the end of the day, for a spotting scope, you're mainly looking for distance. Detail is very important, but it's not the priority in a lot of cases.
Right.
With a camera, detail is the utmost priority. You like literally detail over everything. You have to be able to have detail because that image might be blown up to the size of a wall. It might be zoomed into. It might be cropped into. A lot of people take images wider than they initially plan to use so that they have more options to crop in and change their composition.
Sure.
So for that reason, I would imagine a camera lens has to be, like the standard's got to be a little bit higher because you're not just using the naked eye, you're using a camera sensor.
Like it's crazy how people can manipulate cameras to produce all sorts of crazy looking photos.
It's more simple than you'd think if you understood just camera settings, like shutter speed, ISO, aperture. Like really, if you understand like the basic like 5 settings of a camera, and I mean you're intelligent, you have an engineering type of mind, like I'm sure you'd be able to make sense of it pretty easily. But it just like it's all physics. It's all physics. It's just the way. Oh, my bad. It's just the way you change the settings. So like shutter speeds, how long the shutter is open. So a long exposure is typical. Like when we were shooting night photos.
Yeah, that was cool.
I hold the long exposure. Also, you remember the stars were dashed?
They were.
And we confirmed that was the rotation of the Earth?
Yes.
You know what I realized?
What?
In this, I just updated my computer. It's got a brand new desktop background. It's a time lapse. And the stars are dashed.
Oh, for sure.
On the stock Apple built-in backgrounds, they didn't even take the time to change. Like they're like, well, that's the Earth. So like I was like, that looks bad. I don't like the dashes. And I'm like, dude, literally the biggest company on the planet's like, fuck it, that's the Earth. That's what we have.
What do you mean? Why did you want the dashes not to be there?
I want them to be dots.
It's
so
a
that
time
it
lapse.
looks. Well, I know, but when you're just doing a photo, it's a long exposure. It's not a time lapse.
Sure.
It looks better if I could edit out the sky and make them all dots, because when we look at the sky, we see dots, so it looks natural. When you look at the sky and see dashes, it looks less natural. But it all depends on what you're focusing on as well. Because in the background I'm talking about, the focus is a rock formation, and the stars are just a backdrop. And when we were taking a picture, I was literally just trying to photograph the stars. So I was more upset about them being dashes because that's the main thing. But like, there's literally nothing you can do. You'd have to buy like a fucking stupid nice slider and like automatic rotator that would perfectly match the rotation of the Earth so that it stayed locked on the stars for the time you had the open exposure.
The telescopes do that, man.
Yeah, I know.
Telescopes
Not for
fucking
cheap
do
though.
that. Hell no.
That's my point.
Hell no.
You can easily, like, dude, you can buy that.
Did you
That's
know-
a thing. You can
did you-
totally buy that.
Did you know that the Dutch built the microscope and the telescope within like 5 years or something?
Galileo was a telescope.
I don't know, man.
Well, there's the like,
Hey, Jamie, look it up.
there's like invented and perfected.
Look it up, Jamie.com.
I swear Galileo invented the first telescope. Am I insane?
Dude, I don't know.
I was like looking up, thinking about like getting that. Fucking as a tattoo. All right, if it lulls too much with us researching, I will cut it out. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna do all this. Yeah, the Netherlands. Damn.
The Dutch, man. I told you. That's so wild. I think they built glasses, like eyeglasses.
Bacon.
What?
Scientist.
Oh,
Francis Bacon.
Francis Bacon.
But now I'm seeing the science of optics tracked back through Roger Bacon. I don't know if there's any kinship there. I was trying to see where Galileo fits in, but I mean, I won't get that into it. I don't know. What was Galileo fucking Dutch?
I don't think so. I think he
I
was.
swear he was Italian or Greek or I'm an idiot. I
think-
feel so dumb. It was 16, I think 04 is what it said.
I want to say Galileo was Italian, but
That's what I was thinking. Because wasn't he prosecuted by like the Roman Catholic Church?
yeah, but they were all over Europe, man. But I'm not sure of the timeline, the specific
I don't know.
timeline.
You relate the Vatican and Italy, and I don't know. I feel so dumb about that. I don't know.
Man,
I know so many things about science, but I'm not that well versed in the history of it.
that's one big cult there.
Fucking Vatican.
Anyway, but yeah. No, I mean, I think I've really been looking at places to like travel. You know what I mean? A lot. And
Dude, we're hoping to go. I know this is short. You're probably talking a little bit more widespread than I'm. Me and Anise really want to go see the Outer Banks for our honeymoon.
the Outer Banks. Yeah, you told me that.
Yeah, that'll be a fun trip.
No, I've been looking
But,
at cities
like-
out west. I think Missoula.
really?
Missoula would be cool. Malibu.
You ever
would
been to
be-
San Antonio? You seen the Alamo?
I haven't.
Apparently, I didn't see it when I went there because I was with like a group, and I'm sure we weren't exposed to the. And I mean, it was 2013. I don't know what's
Yeah.
changed. I've heard San Antonio is a little sketchy now, except for like right by
Why
the
so?
Alamo. I don't know. Texas is sketchy. Houston's sketchy. Dallas is sketchy. Dude, like Dallas and Houston are like the new Memphis and Atlanta. Like, I mean, Memphis and Atlanta are still fucking sketchy, but like Dallas and Houston are like. If you go, stay in the fucking, stay in the right areas.
Those two cities are
Especially
big.
if you look like us, stay in the right areas when you go to those cities. I'm just saying, man. You gotta be careful.
those first of all, those cities are a lot bigger than they're not
Dallas
a lot.
and Houston.
They're bigger than Atlanta.
Well, the closer you get to the east, the smaller the tighter packed cities are. That's just
Right.
how we develop.
Dude, the Great Lakes has got some sprawling cities, dude.
Well,
it's
like Milwaukee,
wild.
Detroit. What else up there?
Chicago.
Chicago's a little. Is it? It is close to it. It's upward. It's kind of northward in Illinois, isn't it? I don't know.
Chicago's at the very northern part of Illinois.
For some reason, I envision it being in the southern, but I do know that. I know it's.
It's at the very
fucking up
top
there.
of Illinois. But yeah, dude, Toronto's built on the Great
I'd like
Lakes.
to go to Canada.
Erie, Pennsylvania. The Great Lakes are crazy.
The Great Lakes would be cool. Great Lakes would be cool, and like, I'd like to visit the Midwest. Just like,
I'm passing right over that shit on my way to the
I've
Rockies.
I've been to Dayton. That's the farthest up
Dayton,
north I've
Ohio.
been. Yeah, that's the farthest north I've been.
What was that?
Wait, is Dayton's farther north than New York for sure? I'm almost positive.
know.
I literally have a map of the U.S. over there if you want to grab it. But I'm pretty sure Dayton's above New York because New York is a lot farther south than you realize when you look at a map. Because the state of New York's like up here, and then you got Pennsylvania, but the city of New York like dips down towards Jersey and Maryland.
It's at the
and
very
shit.
bottom of the state.
Yeah, it's at the very bottom.
It looks like it shouldn't
New
even
York.
be a part
Isn't
of
New York
State.
the only?
Like Long Island shouldn't be New York State.
No, it's just because New York needed some waterfront. Right? Am I wrong about that?
It's all tax purposes.
Isn't it fully landlocked except for New York City, pretty much? Or does it touch a Great Lake on the other side? I don't know.
So New York's got a small bit of ocean front.
Yeah, from New York City.
A little bit above New York
above?
City, yeah.
But still, they're like squeezed out. They're like, we got to have this.
They don't have a lot, but they have a little bit.
I mean, it's just a result of how the country developed,
They
obviously. That's
did.
why fucking Jersey and all of New Hampshire up there, or not New
Yeah.
Hampshire, all of New England up there is fucking...
Shout out Joey Coco Diaz up in North Bergen.
North Bergen.
North Bergen is just across the East River in New Jersey. Right across
New
the
Jersey
river.
sucks. I'm
How
sorry.
dare you?
I'm sorry. New Jersey's not that cool.
Did you know that New Jersey has the highest density of black bears per capita than
I did
any
know
state?
that. I did know that.
Because I told you. I'm just kidding. I don't
no,
know.
that's a pretty... I'm pretty sure me and you both heard that from Joe Rogan, but...
No, I think I heard it from Steve Ranella, I think.
oh, well.
Anyway.
All of the influence that we...
Yeah.
it's very similar.
That's true.
Yeah, I've heard that stated a couple times. But no, have you ever drove through New Jersey?
No.
It sucks. I mean, I was just on 95 the whole time. Yeah. And then, like, you hit the turnpike. But, dude, it's all toll roads. You have to drive. Like, you got to pay to drive on, like, half the fucking roads in New Jersey. You can't pump gas on your own. The attendant has to pump your gas legally. I, like, literally stopped. I told Denise, I was like, make sure we get gas in Maryland. Because I don't want this fucking gas attendant pumping my damn gas. I can do it myself. I'm a man. So I was like, make sure we get gas in Maryland before the border.
They do that in New Jersey?
It's a law. You cannot pump your own gas in New Jersey.
That is not real.
Yes, look it up. That is a law. Ask Denise. She was with me. Yes.
That is so weird.
A gas attendant pumps your gas in New Jersey.
Why?
Across the state. I'm like 98% sure across the state that's how it happens.
I like pumping my gas sometimes. Shit.
Right? I don't need you to wait on me. Maybe like I'll pull in, I'll pump my own damn gas. I don't know if it's a safety hazard or it's probably some grandfathered in law that's like...
One time shout out my mom, she drove off with the gas nozzle in her car.
No way.
Yeah. So those little gas
Break off or
nozzles,
pull out?
The gas nozzles have a break off valve. So like once it hits a certain pressure,
yeah.
it pops off.
Dude, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it just comes right off.
She's just cruising down the street with the nozzle hanging out.
She realized pretty quickly.
She feel a little jolt.
Yeah, I mean,
Dude. Imagine.
She only did
I
that
mean, they
once.
have to have it snap off at the nozzle. Otherwise, that could be a big fucking issue if you just rip that hose off the thing. I don't really know where I'm sure the mechanics of that's something I've never looked into. I look into a lot of random information. I've never, ever looked into how gas pumps work. Because there's one nozzle and 3 gases.
Who gives a shit
It's fun.
about gas nozzles, bro?
Yeah, it's fun. I love
Gas nozzles?
Yeah. So, like, think about it.
I don't wanna.
There's three different gases. You got unleaded, super, and ultra.
Thank
or
God
whatever
we
the
got
fuck they
that
are.
unleaded shit nowadays. Good
But, hold on,
fucking
I'm saying,
Lord.
like, but they all
Holy
come through the
shit.
same pipe.
Speaking of toxin,
They all come through the same nozzle.
the only thing that's worse is mercury.
So there's got to be like a valve shifting in there. Like I'm interested in the mechanical shit like that. So, and they come from underground tanks. You know, you see the humps you drive over in the gas station that have the thing. You never seen a truck sitting at a gas station filling it up with gas? They open the little manhole covers.
Oh, dude,
and they got the tanks underground.
You know my job, right?
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, is it not interesting to you to know how a gas pump works?
Fair point. Maybe that's why I have that attitude, because like I just take it for granted.
So when the pumps have diesel and unleaded,
yes,
they have two different nozzles.
There's two different tanks.
Right, but there's three different tanks for the unleaded super. What is it? Unleaded, medium, and what the fuck?
They usually have three tanks. They usually have
87, 89, 93.
They have a premium tank.
That's the word I couldn't think of.
They have a premium tank. They have a regular tank, and they have a diesel tank. Usually, that's pretty common.
Then what's the middle?
It's a mix.
A mix of premium and that just makes me more interested.
Yeah.
So there's a valve to switch between the two, and then they can mix them.
Usually, yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, it's all pumps.
See, you were wrong. This is very interesting. So the reason they have a one nozzle for the unleaded and one nozzle for the diesel is because the two unleadeds can mix with no issue. The different octanes can mix with no issue, but diesel doesn't need to mix with unleaded. That's why it's two different nozzles, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And often two different pumps at some stations.
Right, two different.
So I'm just curious what type of valve contraption is within that thing.
It depends on
and how reliable are they?
It depends. Listen, it depends. I'm going to tell you this. I deal with this a lot. I work with the Superb program for DHEC a lot for my job, and we manage basically releases from these underground storage tanks. Okay,
right.
And what was my point? You were asking about
the valve contraption.
Yeah. So what we see is there's a very wide range of different gas stations across the state. Sometimes you have what you might see off the side of a really nice interstate, like a QT or a Sphinx or
Shell.
a Quick Shop, a Shell, whatever.
Marathon's a big one. Yeah.
Sometimes you have
listed off zero other than South.
You have
other than Southern gas station, like
you have a
7-Eleven,
2-pump station in bumfuck out on the coastal plain where everybody's got a fucking groundwater well.
Well, those are so old too, right? Like most of those gas stations have been there since like way back.
This is also really
those are often like the first gas stations that popped up.
You drive to Columbia, right? A lot. Yeah. You drove to Columbia, a fair bit.
Wait, I'm sorry. Gas stations would have pumped up before the interstates were built.
Yes, for sure.
So that's why there's all of those rural gas stations. I'm just putting that together. I'm sorry. I'm just
so basically
in my head.
Right now, what's going on in Columbia? They are expanding the interstate going into Columbia from the north on 26. Yeah, a little bit.
It's not too bad as long as we're both talking. It's not too bad.
Yeah. But so they're expanding the interstate, and what they have to do what they call a corridor survey. So basically, they have someone like me or someone who's better at me at my job than I am. They do what you call a corridor survey.
Man's a rookie.
What you do what you call a corridor survey, and you survey a section of road. What was here historically? We're going to look at historic topo maps. We're going to look at historic Sanborn maps. We're going to look at historic aerial photographs.
Do that in Santuck?
You definitely can.
I'm sure it's already been done.
I can buy you a package for $300 if you want me to.
Oh, dude. One day for sure. Like I'd love to but I didn't mean to interrupt your point.
Yeah, let me finish. So what they do, they identify, hey, there was a fucking gas station here in 1965. And it's right where it looks like it's right where you guys are about to make your road. There might be some tanks there. You might want to check that out. So they'll have to go there.
Dude, it's wild how much shit is underground.
And they'll find tanks
that we don't even think of.
Tanks under the ground, and they're like, "Hey, we have to get these out of the ground." Oh, by the way, they've been leaking. So yeah,
maybe not dig a well.
No, dude, wells are great.
No, I'm saying near that gas station.
Well, yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's just it pays.
No, yeah,
Yeah, exactly. But test your well water, people. Test your fucking well water.
And definitely dig a well. Also,
definitely get a well and definitely test that motherfucker.
The camera just cut. Let me turn it back on, and I'm gonna grab another beer and pee.
All right, break time.
Be right back. Oh, dude, nice start. That was nice. I'm happy about that. All right. Nice little bathroom break. We got the pizza oven roaring outside. We had to stoke the fire on that. We're about to run through a little bit of pizzas. Got 4 doughs ready. First time using a little. You say oni or uni?
Uni, I think.
Uni.
Yeah.
Got a little uni oven. Dude, I really want one. I'm gonna get one. So when I get back to work, I'm trying to hit the ground running Monday because I'm 2 weeks without a check. I'm trying to. Trying to put those headphones on.
Oh yeah, sorry.
I'm trying to seriously. It doesn't really matter. I'm trying to seriously like run through some fucking work. I want to set myself up for like $1,000 a week, if possible.
Do it.
I don't know. I might get lucky. I know Hendersonville has some picnic tables, but also I don't know what the people who have been replacing me for the last 2 weeks have done. So I have no clue what's left for me to go up and do. But I know Hendersonville had an extra set of Gorilla carts, which comes in 14. So I can knock out 14 in about 3 or 4 hours. So if there wasn't much to do and they would let me run through those, I could run up my count quick and maybe set myself up for a solid like $800 a week. And then I need to take out like 500 more bucks so that we'll have enough for a down payment on a truck whenever one pops up. And then obviously we want to get back on track for saving for a house. And other than that, I should be back on track to like upgrade some equipment. Like if I need to cop the uni or like upgrade any of this equipment or buy a camcorder, like a little cheap 4K camcorder, just so we don't gotta worry about the
This man
camera cutting
just
off.
peed on himself. But dude, I really like. I can't decide what oven I like better. I can't decide whether I like the rock box. The rock box is really cool.
You talking about like if you wanted another one, or like saying if I was to get one?
If you were to get one,
I don't know, but are you talking about the one you sent me?
ooh, are you thinking that little box one?
That was like $700.
It's expensive.
It's like $700.
That thing is fucking sick. I can't remember the name of the company who made that, but
it was something made, I believe. I don't know.
It started with an S. It was a cool ass pizza oven.
Yeah. But an uni would be nice. It'd really be convenient to get the next one up, like the 18-inch. What yours is 12-inch?
That's a 12-inch. The 16.
16.
The 16. The Uni Karu 16-inch is the
Like $529.
That's the premier one. It's up there. Yeah. It's. I think it's like
They got a
$600.
$799 one.
They have some cool
The
ovens.
16.
Man.
I'm pretty sure
They
the
have some
16,
cool ovens.
I don't know. Maybe
They make a couple that are propane only. They're really cool.
I'm not fucking with that.
Man, if y'all out there aren't into making bread and pizza, it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah. Anybody, I've said that like oddly enough, I think I'm one of the least cooks of all my friends. I'm definitely less of a cook than Brett. I would consider myself less of a cook than you, except since I've started getting into bread. Quinn has Isis, which Isis is a fucking chef. She ain't just a cook.
What does
Isis
she
is
do?
a
Does
damn
she work in
chef.
a restaurant?
She's a barista right now, I believe.
Man.
But she's a beast, and Quinn's a really good cook as well.
Yeah.
But just randomly, I started getting into bread and encourage you guys to get into bread.
I'm so glad you did, man, because
I
really enjoyed it.
I got a bread guide for beginners for Christmas, and a little bit of equipment, and it's made me so much more in touch with my food.
And you don't have to go crazy. The cool thing is, you don't have to go crazy at all. Mm-hmm. You can literally, if you have an oven in your house, you can literally
Which legally, I believe you should.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you have an oven in your house, you can make good-ass bread.
Really good bread.
For cheap
Super
as
cheap.
fuck.
We're about to make pizzas. These pizzas are like a solid 10-inch, maybe 12-inch, good medium pizza. And all together, the ingredients in one of them is like $2.
Yeah.
And they took me at most, I mean, in total, it's about a 3-hour process, but 2 hours of that is downtime where you're just letting them rest.
And honestly,
and then like in the fridge.
I'm letting mine proof for a couple days this time. I'm excited to see how that changes.
Dude, I will tell you, from this recipe I found, or the pizza recipe I use, where I first heard it from, the guy was like, "This honestly, the longer you let this set in the fridge, the better it's going to be." And I've let one go for about 6 days. fucking really good. It's just like the yeasty like booziness of the fucking dough is so nice.
Yeah.
I want to make a sourdough pizza. I'm really interested in trying to get a sourdough starter going, but I'm intimidated.
Huh.
Because really you need to feed them like twice a day. There's a lot of work that goes on.
You have to feed the
starter. Because it's an active bacteria and yeast culture. It's kind of like a kombucha, which I've made kombucha, so I think I would be... And I think this is a lot more forgiving than a kombucha, because kombucha was fucking tedious to make. I really want to do that again, but I don't want to do it in this house. I'd rather do it in a fresh, clean house and have good storage space. This house is so fucking old.
Man, I've had some kombucha that tastes like some donkey piss, dude. Holy shit.
Dude, my kombucha tasted good. It was just strong and funky in the best way.
Ugh.
But like in this house, with how old it is, I don't want anything that's a culture of bacteria and yeast that needs like a relatively clean environment. I don't know what the fuck's been going on. This trailer's from like the 70s. Like I don't want to cultivate a yeast and bacteria culture in this house. There's no telling. Like I just feel like that's probably a recipe for disaster. I want a more clean environment.
Yeah. I've been thinking about saving my shit for my plants.
Seriously? Just use Jackson's.
Yeah, you're right. I should use Jackson's.
Just scoop out Jackson's. It's already not in the toilet. Just scoop the diaper right into your fucking plants.
No, we're going to start training them to shit into the baby little bin. So it's perfect, dude. And we can just save his
baby shit compost.
Bucket of baby shit.
Bro.
Yeah. I hear that's the best stuff for plants.
Human feces?
Yeah, it's the best. This is the best stuff.
It was better than cow manure and like fish carcasses.
Yeah, it's the best if you.
Wait, you fish?
No, listen.
Just save some dead
compost
fish.
is the best when you run it through a huge industrial system, and then you condense it down to the worst shit ever, and don't break it. That doesn't break down at all, and then we spread it all over our crops as fertilizer. That's the best. That's the best. Anyway, what were you saying?
I was being practical.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I said you fish a lot.
I fish.
And fish are great fertilizer.
They are.
Why don't you...
I eat a lot of eggs, too, which eggshells, you do
Every
have
now and
eggshells.
then, your license, like fishing license and the law is like, you can fish to eat, right? It's not against the law.
Yeah, you can take, there's
Bro,
a
grab
bag
some of
limit.
those bass you've been catching.
Yeah.
Fillet, dude, you've been catching some fat ass bass. Fillet them and throw the fish carcass in the plants.
That's a great point. I'm
Like, boom, dude, you're utilizing the most of the fish. Like, that's honestly more responsible than catch and release.
This is my.
You're not just hurting it. You're literally using all of the fish.
Let me. I don't know if this is true. This is a feeling I have. Excuse me. Stormwater runoff is typically worse in terms of what gets washed into the river systems is much worse in larger cities, right? That is an extremely urban area. An extremely urban area in the middle of Columbia where I cook or where I fish. And I'm just like, I don't know.
Makes a lot of sense.
I'm sure it'd be fine to.
I didn't think about that. It'd be good for fertilizer, but yeah, the eatings. I don't know about eating those fish.
Even in fertilizer, the plants will uptake.
Well, a lot
of times toxins bind to your natural your body's natural.
The thing is with plants is fertilizer.
System.
The heavier metals and a lot of the toxic things that are going to be introduced into the ecosystem through rainwater.
Heavy
runoff.
metals is a big one in South Carolina.
So, if you add that to the soil for a plant, they're not going to take those heavy metals are going to remain in the soil. The plant's not going to take up those heavy metals.
I think it depends on the plant, and I think that you're wrong in some cases.
I'm sure I am. I mean, I'm not basing that on any research, but I would just imagine that.
Dude, there has been some Gerber food that
I know that like,
grinded,
there's a lot of issues with
grinded
certain things
vegetables. Grinded vegetables have they were like these are testing high for heavy metals. Exactly why you're talking about, because the spinach is in a place where the ground is rich in heavy metals.
I'm completely wrong about that.
South Carolina has an extremely rich metal deposit, an extremely rich heavy metal deposit. We have a pretty high amount of arsenic, iron, lead, all the
There's a
cobalt.
lot of. I mean, we're a factory state.
Yeah.
Like literally, everything's industry. We've got fucking steel plants. We've got paper plants. We've got car manufacturer. We provide for BMW.
Hey, shut
We
up.
do a lot
Don't talk
of,
about
like-
South Carolina anymore. Don't blow it up.
I'm-
Don't blow it up. Just don't talk-
No, South Carolina sucks. There's a lot of heavy metals, and you don't want to live here.
We live in Rhode Island.
You think we talk like this from Rhode Island? I mean, I would like
What
to.
would a Rhode Island accent even sound like?
I would like to think
please,
we're not.
Please tell us. I don't know.
I would like to consider myself among the lower of the southern accented peoples.
So this is what happened to me. I went to college.
Like if my
and that
sister
shit
was on
got
the mic, it'd
whipped
be,
out of me. They made fun of me so bad when I went to college. I was like, Jesus Christ.
dude. People,
So I changed the way I
yeah.
spoke.
Well, I started changing the way I speak in high school. I was like, dude, this is literally, you guys are stupid. You
Ooh,
guys, like, you need
slap
to fucking.
in the
No, I'm
face.
serious. Like, not. I mean, if you have good grammar and you have good English and you speak well and you've got a bit of an accent, oh well, whatever. But there was just certain words that I said in the way I was brought up that I was like, I'm not saying that anymore. Like oil. Like my sister makes fun of me the way I say oil.
You put some oil on those broccoli sprouts.
Cause bro, I say oil, and
Did
that
you
was
put oil on those broccoli sprouts?
that was a decision. I intentionally was like, I say oil, and I sound like an idiot. I'm going to start saying oil.
Yeah.
So like definitely some of it has been cautious. Some of it's been from getting made fun of. But at Coastal, Coastal's a pretty.
Yeah,
Same as Clemson.
right.
Coastal's like they're D1 now, right? It's a very
People come from all over.
yeah.
Just
So
U.S.
It's
Columbia's,
diverse.
Columbia's like that. Clemson, Greenville.
Clemson nowadays, for sure, has got to be one of the biggest institutions in the fucking country.
It's crazy. It's
Like-
blowing up so crazy.
And Coastal's doing the sports for Coastal's doing the same thing for Coastal.
South Carolina is going nuts right now. It's going nuts right now. We're building up a lot here.
South Carolina sucks. Stop coming here. Stop coming here.
We just no. Here's the thing. We just got to buy property before everybody gets here. That's the issue.
I
we gotta
got
buy-
like 400 acres.
Yeah, you better hold on to it because
Oh, we're not. My entire family
They're-
is
they're
adamantly against selling.
they're
property.
chopping up land and selling it like fucking crazy.
Literally,
you better get it while you
if
can.
I ever get rich, the rich contingency plan is like I'm literally land.
Duh.
Like
Yes.
I want to be a musician, and I want to pride myself in the land I own, not the chains I have.
I'm just so interested in property. It's so I love property. I love. It's so interesting. I love looking at it. I love like what's selling for what where. You know what I mean? Like looking at
Dude, what about the housing crisis, or maybe not crisis, that we're going to come up on with the baby boomers dying out?
What do you mean?
There's speculation that our housing market's going to go wild within the next like decade because the baby boomer generation is dying out, and they are the biggest majority of homeowners in the country.
I've heard that repetitively.
What's your thoughts?
Man, I'm telling you, I feel
Looking up, I mean, as someone who's interested in a house in the next like half decade,
I've heard
couple years,
I know.
it's interesting.
It is very interesting.
Because also, I want to build. I potentially either want to get like a nice modular prefab home. I mean, shit, if I get rich by then, custom home,
Yeah.
of course. Or even if we really have to, get a trailer. Because I've been living in the trailer for 3 years. I don't give a fuck. If it's on my own property and I can do what I want with my land, I'm not that worried about the value of the actual home itself. As long because I'm not going to sell it. It's my house
Yeah.
forever. It's my land. It's been in my
Right.
land. It's been in my family forever.
What I think is important, even if it goes south, I think it's ownership is still important.
Yeah.
But-
no, that's what I'm saying. Like
'cause
I want to
even-
own more than anything.
Yeah, as
But
long
I'm
as
saying, like-
long as you can pay your loan,
With
it's
the,
always better. It's always better as long as you can pay your loan.
with the change in the market that is speculated to happen.
It's scary. Your
It's-
house could appreciate in value substantially.
Well, your two current owners. For someone like me looking to buy, that could potentially be a very valuable thing because as the
Exactly.
homes on the market go down in price, the home builders' prices and the trailers' prices and the modular home prices and all of the home builders also have to go down so that they can entice people. They've got to match the market share.
Sure.
So ideally, if it does happen and baby boomers lose a bunch of houses in the next few years,
When do you think this is going to be, though?
I don't know. Doey was born in 44. She's a baby boomer for sure. But she's 78 healthy. And she's a rare case. Like a lot of them baby boomers are 78
So what's the
stumbling around.
what is the time period for baby boomers? And it's not, hey, baby boomers. I highly
like
doubt any
45 to
baby
55.
boomers are going to listen to this podcast. I hope you do, because I would love your input, man. But
45 to 60?
I'm just saying, we don't want you to die.
World
We're
War
just
II,
talking
right?
about it, man. Jesus.
Baby boomer.
Right after World War II, right? Let's like
45 to 60. 45 was the end of World War II. So the next like 15 years after that, 45 to 60. That's what I'm guessing. What do you think?
Here. To be honest, what I think is I'm really scared.
I'm damn close. 46 to 64.
20 years. Here's
18,
what I'm scared
close
about this. I'm scared about the state of our nation right now in general. I think that right now
I don't want to talk about that.
We're going through a crisis, man. We're going through a crisis.
We just went through a crisis.
Man,
we're on the back end of a crisis.
We're
still on the back end of COVID. We're still on the back end of the PC crisis, cancel culture. We're still on the back end.
That's still prevalent, man.
It's changing. There's been a shift because a lot of the people who were so invested in that have been shown the light. There's a lack of power in that, and that's understood. And I think that it is being shown to the public that overarching opinion will prevail. And regardless of niche ideas, we can all have respect for each other and we can all accept each other. But at the end of the day, society will function for the majority.
Here's my biggest fear on what you just said.
I'm worried about China. I'm not worried about the U.S. China and Russia is what scares me.
We're
going to work it out because we have free speech and we have the dialogue and we can talk about it. And we just went through one of the most brutal times in our lives. And we got through it no problem.
They control all the information.
And we got through it smarter.
They control all the information.
I know.
They do.
We can't change that.
Listen to me. There are certain critical pieces of information, right, that uphold industries.
Yeah.
That are lies. Okay, I'm not even going to try to get into them.
Right.
But there are certain.
That's too deep.
But listen, if any of those were uprooted, it would be terrible for the power structure, and that's what is going to have to happen.
Of course, dude. That's the reason that all of the.
I'm talking so crazy right now.
It's also very vague, though.
Yeah,
you're talking very crazy, but you're talking very vague, and that's true. It's not a conspiracy to think that our government is controlled by very, very rich corporations.
They isolate.
And they make a lot of the decisions.
They isolate very particular, specific details of a narrative to take advantage of the tone around it, and then they make people think certain things about all sorts of topics.
But there's also a movement against
and I don't know
mass media.
I don't know.
Which I think is a healthy thing, because what you're describing is only portrayed a little bit by social media, which is the vocal minority, which I've talked about a lot, which I think that term is very important. It's a bunch of people who want to fucking speak, but they're not they don't represent the majority of America. They're the vocal minority. They're the people who are shameless enough to get on social media and speak their fucking minds. Most of us aren't doing that. So there's mass media and news, and then there's the vocal minority. And that's where most of the conflict is coming from. Everybody else is neutral. So I don't think...
Or they try not to think about it. A lot of them don't think... A lot of people don't think about it that hard.
I think that all of this is a result... God, these fucking fruit flies, I swear to God. I think all of this is a result of...
Say, for instance, birth control.
Hold on. I think all of this is a result of over-exaggerated news and hyped-up politics. And I don't think that at the end of the day, when the shit hits the fan, the majority of people... I know, but I'm saying when shit hits the fan...
They're doing shit that has terrible consequences on people's lives. And they're taking advantage of people, and it's the power structure that people trust the most. The healthcare.
Why?
It's fucking terrible. Why are we so bad at healthcare in this country, man?
Why are you making it sound like I'm for the government? I'm not like trying to say what they're doing is right. I'm not saying any. I'm just trying to.
Well, here's the
explain,
thing:
like,
some people in the government are doing things that are good for people, right? It's not that
the
cut
entire
and dry.
system's flawed.
It's not government or not government. It's like certain facets of it.
The point I'm trying
right?
to make is, I think that at the end of the day, when shit hits the fan, 70% of America is on the same page. And I think,
I hope,
and I think that what we're getting shown right now is, we've talked about this. What we're getting shown right now is the other 30% that is just talking. They're blowing smoke. They're just fucking talking because they have nothing better to do. They're talking because they think that they're doing something right by discussing ideas. But luckily, they're talking, and the rest of us, we all get to come together and figure out what's right and what's wrong. And as we've discussed before, it's at the end of the day, it's better if everybody talks. Not everybody should be listened to, but everybody needs to talk so that we can all take a step back and figure out what is worth listening to.
Yeah, man. My worry is that they're gonna control specific truths, and
we're in an age of resolving that, though.
I hope.
We've had more government declassifications in like the last few years. Like, I mean, there's
like,
so
why
much shit.
Why
but
is
then
the
again,
food industry poisoning people?
But
they know they're poisoning people. Why are they doing it?
Yeah, it
you know what I'm
sucks
saying?
because on one hand,
why are the pharmaceutical
feels...
companies? Why are they poisoning people? Why?
Okay, so on one hand,
they know they are. They know they are. It's not like they don't fucking know. They know, and they are taking advantage.
So here's a good point.
Okay, they're taking advantage of people.
The reason I feel a little more sympathetic towards the government, which I hate even fucking say, I feel dirty saying that.
But dude, the thing is, you can't just say one government because there's so many different.
But I feel like they've been very open lately. I'm just trying to explain like my outlook right now because I'm verbally processing it. I feel like, in my head, I think of them being more open towards the people because of how much they've released about UFOs and how much they've declassified previous thought conspiracy theories. And like they've declassified things about false flag events. They've declassified things about the previous wars we've been in. But speaking of
declassification,
the other part of my head is like, what if they're like weeding through the things? They're like, all right, we can release all this shit. It'll get them talking. But then we're still going to be in bed with the pharmaceutical companies and fuck them all up. But if we're more open about this other shit, it can distract them from the actual shit we're doing. So I'm still like thinking that they're obviously dirty. They're obviously got to they're 2 steps ahead of us. They are professional.
You lost me. I'm sorry.
I'm saying, in my opinion, I think that I have a little bit more optimism towards the government because they've been very open about UFOs and shit.
Yeah.
What if they're opening up about some things so that they have more control about hiding others?
Dude, Joe Biden is our president.
Yeah, I hate to say it.
I'll repeat what I just said. Joe Biden is our president, dude.
At least Trump's brain functioned. It might not have functioned well, and it might not have functioned in the ways that we like it to, but it functioned. I don't think Biden's fucking brain functions.
Get that crazy motherfucker out of there, too.
I don't like Trump. I don't like any of them. I don't like politics. If you're the type of person who grew up and you like want to be a politician, you want to have that power, you shouldn't be a politician. That's the way I look at it. Like, it's a fucking beauty contest. Anybody who wants to run for a beauty contest. George Washington famously detested the idea of running the country. He hated it. They wanted him to be...
It's a stupid idea.
They wanted him to be king. And he was like, no, dude.
No, you idiots. He's like, hey, we just beat our last king. How about you be our king now?
It's like, no, this is... I mean, he didn't like
I think Joe Biden is a good king. I think he's a good king. You know what I mean?
He's a good king set up to perish.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to die soon.
Dude.
Sorry, Joe Biden.
What about the summit tomorrow? Göbekli Tepe.
Dude.
So, how crazy is it? Just quick transition. How crazy is it?
How much time we got, dude?
How crazy is it? All of it. How crazy is it that up until the last few years, like, I don't know when Göbekli Tepe was unearthed. I don't know the actual date, but it was since 2000. I know it was in the last couple decades. within the last few years, we have known for a fact and taught all of our students that civilization began 6,000 years ago with Mesopotamia. We've known that because our best argument for why that happened is because that's when we started seeing megalithic sites. That's when we started seeing evidence of societies
Human
and
remains.
actual, when agriculture.
Too bad all of the evidence was destroyed by horrible
Not all of it.
series of 1,000 years. Not all of it.
But
Not all of it.
when you have
I think the Sphinx is evidence of that.
when you have agriculture,
And
you have a
definitely-
surplus. When you have a surplus, you're able to create specified occupations and have special jobs for certain people in the community. Not everybody has to hunt and gather, right?
Yes.
That is why we theorize that agriculture is what spawns megalithic sites, because they're artistic, they're
Yeah.
aesthetic, they're huge, they take a lot of specialized labor. That's why we think agriculture and civilization is the only reason you would have megalithic sites.
I think we're
You would not have hunters and gatherers gathering in the same place for an extended period of time, collecting resources in order to build a megalithic site. You need a civilization with a similar mindset and goal.
See, you and my good friend Paul Myers. I work with Paul Myers. Hopefully, you see this one day. But you and him have the same perspective that
No,
Let me
I'm getting to Göbekli Tepe.
you and him have the same perspective in that you think you're underestimating hunter gatherers. You're underestimating the
No,
capability
hold
of
on.
a hunter. I think
Hold
because
on.
I think a hunter could potentially provide for his.
It's one
family.
thing when we talk about one statue. It's another thing when we talk about dozens of tons of rocks being moved to a site and carved. And that takes dozens of years. That is not something you do overnight.
God, you're right,
That
you're
takes a civilization that is in one place for an extended period of time. And the only way you accomplish that is through some sort of agriculture, some sort of development of irrigation, some sort of a lucky plain where everything's fertile. But either way, my point
which
is that
which happens a lot, by the way.
we thought that the oldest possible, I'm clipping, I believe, when I say oldest. Sorry if I've been doing that for a long time. The oldest possible, I can hopefully mitigate that with compression, but the oldest possible thing that we've known for a megalithic site has been in Mesopotamia, and I can't remember the specific sites, but it's dated about 6,500, 6,000 years ago. Göbekli Tepe is dated to 11,600 years ago, which is double the time we thought there were civilized peoples. And
Dude.
it's a megalithic site.
Listen, did I send you that picture in downtown Columbia? Right when there's the Casey River Walk. It's right by, it's right off Exit 2 on Highway or on Interstate 77. But it's a really cool little greenway. It's several miles, like 6 miles of walking trails. But when you walk in, it says you are walking into a very historic river basin, the Congaree Creek and Congaree River basin. There's evidence of people being here for over 12,000 years.
Dude.
12,000. There's been people.
Also, the thing is, as soon as the very first people, whether it be the Vikings or theorized maybe the Egyptians, we don't know, probably the Vikings, whoever was the first European peoples to make it to the Americas, diseased everybody.
All of them.
Everybody.
So many people.
Everybody.
It's probably like 60 to 70%.
90. I'm not exaggerating. 90%.
It's hard to say because we really don't know how many people were living, but yeah, it's up there. It's
Dude, it's a wild amount. We have records of some of the Native American deaths in North America when we started to colonize.
Yeah.
And such a small, and I'm not trying to sell it like we fucking slaughtered them. It was evil. But
Who
such a
is we?
small.
Who is we?
We're white, okay? But we slaughtered them.
Let me tell you something. I wasn't there. I
wasn't there either. But I'm sure some of my ancestors was.
I didn't do damn.
Dude, my
shit,
ancestors were French Protestant who came here to escape. Some of my ancestors were French Protestant who came here to escape. I don't know the word. Prosecution from the Catholics, I believe. I don't know. Maybe my history's wrong. But
I wish I knew. I wish I knew where I came
they
from.
came here in the 1700s. I'm sure they slaughtered a few people. So, like, I feel like I can say we. I'm not proud of it. Camera cut off. Let's keep this one going for, like, we'll wrap it up within this camera's change.
Yeah, we should cook pizza soon.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up within the next, like, 10 minutes. We'll finish it out this point. All right, let's go.
Okay.
Back in quick. We'll finish up the point soon. It's been a little over an hour now.
What is the point? We have not made a single point.
Oh, the name. That's what we have to find out. So anyway, let me say that. But yeah, like the Americans slaughtered a ton of people and it was terrible. The Americans. What am I saying? The Europeans slaughtered a ton of Native Americans. It was awful. But disease killed most of them, which is also, I mean, just as awful. But yeah. Anyway, what's the name of the podcast?
A to B and back.
A to B and back? That's gay. I'm sorry. I apologize. I couldn't help myself. That was funny. Your mother is calling you. All right, wrap it up quick. This man's mom's calling him. We'll wrap it up quick. And we don't have to have a name right now. We can come up with one off air. But this is kind of a lame way to end the podcast. We could call it something dumb, like the Pizza Stone Boys. Just something stupid. The yellow board. The I don't know.
We will have a name by the next podcast.
All right, yes.
We will have a name by the next podcast.
I doubt anybody listened, but if you did, I appreciate it.
Stay safe out there.
It
bitches.
was very fun to
So
record
fun,
this.
dude.
I've really enjoyed this.
I did too. I would love to do this again.
Yeah.
Keep doing it because
Maybe we'll have time to fit in another one. I know you want to leave pretty soon. It's already almost 6. I don't know what time. It gets dark like 9 right now.
Yeah.
But
Dude, what? It's almost the summer solstice.
June 21st or July?
June 21st. All right, man. Y'all stay safe out there. Peace.
All right. Take it easy. Appreciate you.
Hell yeah. That was fun.